on the latest entry of Who Gives a Damn? Who Gives a Damn? Amiibo support on Wii U. Naturally. I mean, this is where Amiibo got its start. You would think there would actually be something to fucking talk about right now. But to be honest, looking back at all of the games that supported Amiibo on this platform, my God, we got some real duds here. But before that, let's just talk about Amiibo in general. It was announced in like January of 2012 that the Wii U gamepad would include an NFC reader, which was kind of a bit of a new concept in video games at the time. Skylanders just released in late 2011, and then a few months later, Nintendo says the same technology that allows those figures to be scanned on their little portal of power, yeah, it's going to be included in the Wii U's controller. So I think a lot of people automatically had this idea kind of pop up in their heads of like, oh yeah, a Nintendo's Skylanders game or something like that. Or even just the idea of like, hey, if Skylanders comes to the Wii U, then you can just use the controller here to scan your character into the game rather than plug a whole ass portal into the system. But weirdly enough, the first company to even humor the idea of using the NFC reader on Wii U was Ubisoft. In spring of 2012, there was this leaked internal trailer for Rayman Legends that went around. Obviously, this trailer was just to showcase the general concept of Rayman Legends and was never meant to go public. I mean, that trailer used background music from Back to the Future. This was not meant to be like an official public trailer for the thing. But at the very end, they showcase, oh yeah, let's scan in a rabbit figurine. Let's scan in a heart. Let's scan in fucking Ezio from Assassin's Creed. Definitely was a neat concept. It was a concept that never happened in Rayman Legends. Rayman Legends never used the NFC reader. But you know what did? Not Skylanders either. Skylanders Giants was a launch title for Wii U. That didn't use the NFC reader. Hell, none of the Skylanders games throughout the entire Wii U's life used it. To be fair, that does kind of take away from like the whole charm of Skylanders if you were, taking a Skylander and scanning it in here. I think the portal element of Skylanders kind of brings that whole experience together because, let's be honest, that whole thing, scanning in a figure and all that, it's a complete novelty. It's a gimmick. It's supposed to be a gimmick. So when you take away a big part of the gimmick, which is, oh wow, I have this magical portal here that will transform my figurine and put them into the video game, and you take away the portal and it's just like, oh, scan it on your controller here. That's not nearly as cool. So that makes sense, but at the time during the Wii U generation, I always felt a little weird. But don't worry, Nintendo finally utilized it in one of the worst goddamn games they've ever released. 2013, Pokemon Rumble U for the Nintendo eShop on Wii U released. I fucking hate this game. It is so garbage. It is one of the worst games they've ever put out. Mainly because like Pokemon Rumble in of itself was nothing that special. It was a WiiWare game, then they put out Pokemon Rumble Blast on the 3DS, which was kind of like an expanded version of that same WiiWare game. But like I said, Rumble was already nothing special, but at the very least, it was a game. It was like you were going on an adventure. Pokemon Rumble U is literally just nonstop. You're in just this one small arena, and it's just, hey, fight a bunch of Pokemon, go, and it's just a button masher. It's literally just sit in this fucking circle and defeat all the enemies, and there's no strategy, there's nothing interesting going on, and it was $18 goddamn dollars. So naturally, this was the perfect opportunity to introduce Toys to Life figurines for use on the Wii U. Yeah, so you could get these little blind box figurines from GameStop for like $4 a pop, and you'd open it up and you would have a little polygonal Pokemon figure. Hey, okay, like it is kind of cute. I think kind of the polygonal style is definitely very interesting, like from a figurine point of view. I think I've definitely said the exact opposite at one point or another, because, like at the time I'm probably thinking like, who the fuck wants this? And I'm looking at it, I'm like, okay, I mean, like, I guess it's kind of interesting. I do kind of like the polygonal style. That's something I always thought about with Amiibo. Eventually, they did these little 8-bit figures in a 3D style, which I always thought was really, really cool. But I thought it would have been also just as cool if they did kind of like little like old school N64 models of these characters. Kind of like how this is almost kind of like that. I mean, it isn't. This isn't the N64 model of like Bulbasaur, but I could imagine like Mario 64 Mario, like polygons and all, as an Amiibo figure. That would have been kind of neat. So you know what? Good on you. This is okay, I guess. For $4, sure. But this stuff was only available at GameStop, and it was only compatible with a stupid-ass game. That's just the thing. This almost sounds like it would be a home run. Like, oh, wow, a Pokemon Toys to Life thing? And then you kind of go down the list of like everything this entails, and you're like, oh yeah, that's why nobody gave a damn. Now, it wouldn't be until a full year later in 2014 when Nintendo would finally announce that they are doing their own take on the Toys to Life trend, something that Skylanders started, and then Disney Infinity was introduced, and that picked up some of the momentum. I feel like this was almost done because Nintendo wanted to appease investors, because this seemed like this was like, oh yeah, you have to do that. Nintendo has the IP for this kind of thing, obviously. So they're like, all right, we'll do that. And you know, by Jove, they did it. Formally revealed at E3 2014 was Amiibo. The branding was incredibly strong from the very start here, and a lot of the figurines looked incredibly high quality. I think what was instantly compelling about them was that the very first line of Amiibo shown off and talked about was the Super Smash Bros. one. What really sold me is the fact that these characters looked exactly like the trophies in Super Smash Bros. It was like, oh wow, you know, like I love collecting the trophies in the games. I love taking a look at them and just spinning them around and doing all that. And I also thought it was really cool how the trophies in the game were based on, like, you know, the character artwork that would appear on the character select screen. So, you know, I take that art and then I get a full 3D model of said art in the game that I can spin all around, and now I have a figurine in person that I can do that with. Like, that was so cool. And this comes from somebody who doesn't really buy figurines or a ton of toys or anything. I know, that's still me? I don't buy toys. It's just not something I really do that much. And at the reveal, I think Amiibo definitely looked cool, but I wasn't committed to like, oh, buying a bunch of them. Eventually, I did buy the entire Super Smash Bros. Line. So, that's over with. But with Amiibo, you know, it's like once you pop, you can't stop. Yeah, Pringles. These launched right alongside Super Smash Bros. For Wii U in November of 2014. And I think, like, a lot of people were definitely interested in them, and, you know, a bunch of people definitely bought them. But I think it took, like, a week or so for people to start going, like, all right, well, maybe I want another one, and another one, and another one. And then, you know, eventually that's when kind of the Amiibo craze hit. Crazy to think how much these were genuinely a craze back then. I mean, nowadays, it's nothing special, you know, Amiibo still released, not to the same extent, but back then, Amiibo were a huge subset of Nintendo's business. They were super important. Nowadays, it is kind of just like, yeah, you know, Nintendo will release Amiibo when it makes sense for them, or when they want to. And, you know, that's all fine and good, but it's obvious it's not like an important thing for them to, you know, constantly keep up with. Back when these things launched, they did well, but like a week later, certain figures were just not possible to find. That was specifically Villager, Wii Fit Trainer, and Marth. Those were the big 3 golden geese. Really sucked, man, because I remember going to Target and I was thinking, like, you know what? I bought Mario on Amazon. Like, I pre-ordered Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, and I pre-ordered the GameCube controller adapter and a GameCube controller, and I thought to myself, you know what? I might as well just get Mario, just get one Amiibo, so then I have that, and, you know, I can experience what the Amiibo support in Smash Brothers is like. And then I went to Target, like, a week or so later, and I was like, you know what? I should probably pick up, like, Donkey Kong or something, I don't know. But they had one Wii Fit Trainer there, and I was thinking about it because I thought that would be a little goofy to pick up Wii Fit Trainer, and I was like, no. And then a couple days after that, it was obvious online, like, oh wow, Wii Fit Trainer is one of the rarest Amiibo. Of course, when I went back, there was nothing there. But yeah, I definitely caught the bug there, and, you know, I wanted to get all the Smash Brothers ones after that, and I think a lot of people were very similar. They were cool figurines. I couldn't help it. But that was kind of the only reason why I wanted them, because their support in-game, PU. So that's just the thing with Amiibo, you know, the fact that they're cool figurines is only half the story. The thing is, you know, you can take them and scan them into your game and unlock certain things. Of course, the way Nintendo always wanted Amiibo to work is the fact that they work across multiple single games. That was kind of their selling point. It wasn't like Skylanders and Disney Infinity, who were pretty much locked within their own respective franchises' ecosystems. Yeah, technically Skylanders figures work across multiple games, but they're all Skylanders games. Amiibo were meant to be more of like a fun little investment where it's just like, oh yeah, that Amiibo you buy will work for years to come across all different types of games. The one problem, you know, there's two different types of Amiibo support. There's read-only and read and write. And usually it kind of felt like the read and write support was a little more engaging. You'd scan an Amiibo and the game would put data on the Amiibo and save it there. So in Super Smash Bros., for example, you scan an Amiibo and you train that Amiibo. You know, that Amiibo goes under your wing and, you know, you train it to fight similar to you. And then you scan it and then that data saves and then you can bring that Amiibo to another game console, another friend's house. That Amiibo retains all of its data, you know, and you can bring it around all over the place. However, a limitation of this function is the fact that you can only write one game's worth of data to an Amiibo at a time. So Super Smash Bros. Did this, and then a couple months later, Mario Party 10 came out. The Amiibo functionality in that game as well was read and write. So if you wanted to use your Mario Amiibo from Smash Bros., you could do that. Problem is, you would have to wipe your Smash Bros. Data to then read and write the Mario Party 10 data. Now, if it was just something like, oh, you're using your Amiibo to, you know, scan and then it unlocks something, and that's all it does, you can do that with any Amiibo, you know, and that doesn't wipe your data or anything. But, you know, that was definitely a controversy at the time. You know, there was definitely a balance Nintendo is trying to keep with Amiibo. It was something where you could tell they didn't want to lock too many features behind Amiibo for the most part. They wanted Amiibo to unlock kind of like cool bonuses. Or for something like Smash Brothers, you know, it's kind of a substantial feature, but it's a pretty superfluous one. It's not like you're missing out on a ton, but it's like a really cool little thing that you can do if you get Amiibo. They didn't want to do the Skylanders thing of like, oh yeah, you fully unlock a character, even though they did that a couple of times. Even looking over at like Codename Steam on the 3DS, you can use your Fire Emblem Amiibo to unlock the Fire Emblem characters in that game, which is huge, but it's also like, I guess they view it as like, oh, this is a special little crossover thing that we're gonna do if you have the Amiibo. I don't know. As much as Nintendo wanted to push that Amiibo weren't locking substantial content behind a paywall, you could point out a bunch of different examples of Amiibo doing exactly that. But what I want to do right now is go through all of the Wii U games that supported Amiibo. And I just want to talk about the support and just say what I think about it. There really isn't a ton because Amiibo were introduced basically in the latter half of the Wii U's life. There's only about 2 full years of Wii U left after Amiibo hit the scene. So, you know, there's only a handful of games. And it's weird because I kind of thought that Amiibo support on Nintendo Switch was kind of all over the place and a little weird, but obviously, like, there is a ton more games that support Amiibo on Switch than there ever was on Wii U. But because the Wii U was there during the Amiibo craze, it does kind of feel like, you know, oh yeah, the Wii U definitely has a lot more Amiibo support. No, but let's go over some of this stuff and just see how Amiibo are implemented. These right here are some of the very first games to include Amiibo support, the first major one being Smash Bros. For Wii U. Technically, I believe Mario Kart 8 and Hyrule Warriors got the updates first. Like, these games launched before Amiibo came out, but they got free updates that brought in Amiibo support. But Smash Bros. Was the first one day and date that supported Amiibo figures. And yeah, like I said, the Amiibo support in this game is still probably one of the most, like, compelling uses of Amiibo. Not only is the line one of the best Amiibo lines, you know, the fact that we have, like, pretty much all of the characters from not only Smash Bros. For Wii U, but Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, all his figurines, and you can set them all up almost like you can have your very own 3D character select screen. It's incredible. Like, one of my favorite things Nintendo has ever done, the fact that they fully committed, even well into Smash Ultimate's life, even when it was kind of like, all right, you know, how many people are actually using the Amiibo figures in the game? Like, you know, like the last Amiibo figure to release was Sora for Smash Ultimate, and how many people actually scanned Sora into the game? How many people did? However, I love they committed to it. I mean, that was probably like a 10-year line right there. Sora's Amiibo released in like early 2024. This game launched in 2014. Absolutely wild. The in-game support, it's cool. I think it is definitely cool that like, oh yeah, your amiibo is almost like your little protege. You're training them, you're building them up, you want them to fight like you, and you can feed it all these different things and give it custom moves, all of this. You can name them, all of that stuff. Overall, I do feel that it was a smart solution to the idea of like, hey, we want to do toys to life figures by Nintendo on Wii U. We want Super Smash Bros. To be the first title that it supports, and we want to do all the characters as figurines. How do we implement that? Because obviously, I think a lot of people would have been upset if the way you get characters in this game is if you got to buy the figure and scan it. You know, there was actually a rumor, I believe on like the Best Buy description or something for Smash Wii U back in 2014. I think they initially said like, oh, you can use Amiibo to unlock characters in the game. I don't think that would have been all too bad as long as you could still unlock the characters the normal route. You know, if you got like a Falco Amiibo and you scan that into the game, I think that would have been perfectly reasonable to just like, boom, you have Falco now. You don't have to beat classic mode in a certain way to unlock him. Or goddamn, at the very least, when they started releasing DLC characters, that would have been kind of cool if like, all right, you know, Lucas was a DLC character. If you scan Lucas in, boom, there you go, Lucas, you just have him. But obviously, I guess that's asking for too much. The Amiibo support in Smash Brothers, it's smart. I think it is kind of cool. I wouldn't say it's like the most exciting or magical thing out there. I mean, I think the way the computer kind of learns the way you fight, it is interesting. Like the way Amiibo fight in this game is not like a normal CPU fighter. It's obvious that they are trying to like learn from the way you play the game. And I do think that is kind of neat. And I think it's a smart way to implement toys to life without making it like, oh, you're locking stuff behind a paywall or something. Now, you know what? I think this is solid Amiibo support. It's not the most exciting in the world, but I think it's solid. Which brings us to Mario Kart 8, which I don't know how to feel about this one. You get costumes for your Mii. They did one wave of like Amiibo costumes. That was introduced with the DLC Pack 1 update they did for this game in November of 2014. And then when they brought in their second pack of DLC for this, they introduced a couple more Amiibo costumes. Some that were based on third-party characters. You know, you could get Pac-Man, Sonic, Mega Man, Amiibo Mii costumes, which I thought was very cool. But some of these costumes are definitely pretty neat. I do think they're actually kind of cool. Couple problems. One, I didn't really play as my Mii that much in Mario Kart 8. Back in Mario Kart Wii, hell yeah, I used my Mii all the time. I thought that was cool as hell, but I was like, what, like 11? So yeah, you know, I was a narcissist. I loved seeing myself in Mario Kart. By the time Mario Kart 8 hit, I wasn't really interested in using my Mii anymore. And even then, even if the costumes were kind of cool, a lot of the costumes were costumes based on characters that were already in the game. So it's like, okay, if I scan a Mario amiibo into Mario Kart 8, I get the Mario costume for my Mii. Why don't I just play as Mario? Obviously, I think the non-Mario characters were definitely a lot more interesting to see costumes of in this game. And especially the third-party characters, that was definitely very cool. But this was kind of just like, all right, the game supports Amiibo. You met the quota. Definitely not completely worthless Amiibo support, but definitely not like the most interesting, I would say. Like, all right, you support Amiibo. Good for you. Which is kind of the same with Hyrule Warriors. The Amiibo support in this game is pretty basic. I mean, it does one major thing, which if you scan any Link Amiibo, you get the spinner item. Now, when this game got Amiibo support, the only Link Amiibo out there was the Smash Brothers one, which, you know, that Link is definitely kind of mostly based on Twilight Princess Link, and the spinner was from Twilight Princess. So it's like, okay, that's kind of a cute little reference there. But technically, Hyrule Warriors is compatible with every Amiibo. Now, a bunch of the Legend of Zelda series Amiibo, they'll give you, you know, very good weapons, but it is kind of like a randomized thing. But then any other Amiibo, if they aren't Zelda Amiibo, they'll just give you something. A rupee, fucking crafting material, I don't know. Amiibo hair, I mean, hey, yeah, sure, you're getting material for just having Amiibo, you know, I mean, take it, you know, it doesn't hurt you, you know, you can scan, you know, a unique Amiibo once per day. I think you can scan up to 5 unique Amiibo a day for items, and then they're like, all right, wait till tomorrow. So it's just like, okay, but like honestly, a lot of that stuff feels like a mobile game or something, you know, like, oh, you can do this once a day, you can do this 5 times a day to get your special items. I mean, they definitely give you something, you know, like it's like Amiibo are useful in Hyrule Warriors, but also you could play the entire game without ever using Amiibo, and I don't think you would be much worse off than the guy that's using Amiibo 5 times a day. So yeah, who cares? Then we have Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, which released in late 2014, about a month after Super Smash Bros. For Wii U, but this got an update in early 2015 to use the Toad Amiibo. The Toad Amiibo launched alongside Mario Party 10 in the new Super Mario line of Amiibo, which that line of Amiibo was, you know, kind of funny. I think those figures are much better, like, in quotes, toys or figures compared to the Smash Brothers line. I mean, you compare, like, Peach from the Smash Brothers line to Peach from the Mario line. And Peach from the Mario line is just so much more substantial. Like, it's just a much bigger figure. Her face looks a lot more just lively compared to the Smash Brothers line, which, you know, with Smash Brothers being a lot more ultra detailed and all of that, a lot of the characters are much smaller. And Peach's face in particular, I mean, I always thought, like, she looks like a Polly Pocket doll or something. But even though the figure quality was a step up, it was also kind of like, okay, we already have all these characters as figures. Who gives a damn? So they had to introduce Toad. The Toad Amiibo hit the scene. And they were like, well, we just released a Toad game, so the Toad game has to be compatible with the Toad Amiibo. What does the Toad Amiibo do? Fucking jack dick. You scan the Toad Amiibo in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, and Pixel Toad appears and hides in the level. I think it's so strange because there were like hidden 8-bit Luigis all around Super Mario 3D World, and that was completely free. But in Captain Toad Treasure Tracker, they were like, okay, let's do a similar like Easter egg hunt kind of thing. So there's an 8-bit Toad that will just kind of be hidden in all of the levels, and when you find him, that's it. It's just kind of like something else to do. You don't get anything for it. He's just there. All other Amiibo work, but just in the sense of like, if you scan any Amiibo into this game, it'll give you an invincibility mushroom, just like an extra little power up or something to make the game a little easier. This Amiibo support is pretty awful, which is strange because in the Nintendo Switch version of the game, the Pixel Toad little hide and seek thing is just included in the game. It's not tied to the Toad Amiibo anymore. But Amiibo is still supported. They just gave the Toad Amiibo the exclusive honor to be the thing to unlock the invincibility mushroom. I don't know. So, yeah, to me, Amiibo figures at this point in time were a little more kind of like, hey, if you want cool Nintendo merch, here you go. And oh, they just so happen to unlock little bonuses in your game. That's all they're doing is unlocking little bonuses. I think the Captain Toad support is genuinely one of the most pathetic pieces of Amiibo support out of those 4. But who knows? We might see something else a little more pathetic. Mario Party 10 definitely did push its Amiibo support quite a bit. Like I said, it launched right alongside the Super Mario line of Amiibo. And this guy launched right alongside that. It was the Gold Mario edition, which I don't even think was ever formally super talked about by Nintendo. Like, I remember they talked about Mario Party 10 and the Mario line of Amiibo in like the January 2015 Nintendo Direct. But Gold Mario just kind of appeared. Like, I remember a Walmart ad came out that showed like, oh yeah, Gold Mario was exclusive to Walmart. And then everybody was freaking the hell out. They're like, oh my God, we have to deal with this shit now. A gold Amiibo, that thing's gonna be limited to like 5 copies. In the end, this is actually one of the easier to get Amiibo right now. Like, you could probably get a gold Mario Amiibo on eBay for like 30 to 50 bucks, brand new, sealed. I'm just kind of bullshitting right now. I have no idea. But okay, it was obvious they were kind of thinking Mario Party 10 might be another big push for Amiibo, and you know, I mean, like, they really kind of hammered it into the game here. There's an entirely brand new mode called Amiibo Party in Mario Party 10. See, they say, put your Amiibo figure in the game, customize game boards, power up with tokens. Amiibo Party is very interesting because at this time, Mario Party is in this weird state where, you know, it's nothing really like the first 8 mainline games. This continues the gameplay style from Mario Party 9, where everybody's in a car and the game board goes from one point to an end point. That's it. There's really not a lot you can do other than just go from start to end. I hate this gameplay style, and I don't really know of a ton of people that really like it. But it's very strange because Amiibo Party plays like those original Mario Party games. You move individually, you're going to get a power star, all of that. Like, that's pretty crazy. The problem is the game boards in Amiibo Party are a fucking square. You just keep going around in a square. It's awful. And oh yeah, you can customize the game board. So like there's quadrants on this game board. So it's like pieces of a pie. You can be like, oh yeah, I scan my Luigi in there so I can make, you know, part of the board Luigi themed, and then part of the board I can make it Mario themed, and all that stuff. Who the hell cares when the game board is a damn square? But besides that point, the way you roll the dice is by scanning your amiibo. You have to scan your amiibo and then lift it up to roll the dice. It's awful. It's not fun to pass the Wii U gamepad around to each person when everybody has perfectly functioning Wii remotes that you have to use either way for the mini games. So, oh God. Amiibo Party, like, has cute ideas. I like the idea of customizing a game board and making, like, oh, half of it is this theme and half of it is that theme. I love that idea. But that idea is put into one of the worst modes of any Mario Party game. It definitely gave me hope that, like, okay, the original Mario Party formula is still on their minds, and they can still do it if they want to. The problem is they did it in a horrible, horrible way in Mario Party 10. Mario Party 10 also lets you like unlock little tiny bonuses by scanning your amiibo figures. There's honestly kind of like a cute little thing where when you scan an amiibo figure, you can get a little scratch off card that you can scratch off with the Wii U gamepad's touchscreen. That's kind of cute. But did you know that is the only nice thing I'll ever say about Mario Party 10? This game. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse is one of the examples of amiibo support that was literally just shoehorned in there. It only works with Kirby, King Dedede, and Meta Knight, and what happens is when you scan any of them, Kirby will then get a power-up based on that character. You can only do it once a day. Yeah, who cares? It's not even like, oh, you can play as Meta Knight now, or you can play as King Dedede. No, like, it's just Kirby with the mask on or with the King Dedede hat on. That's it. It's not even cool power-ups. You just get a little more powerful. I know, like, oh, power-up, powerful. Yeah, whatever. But like, it's not even unique. You can do like a Star Dash as Kirby whenever you want. That's like something that like, oh, as you build up your meter throughout the level normally, oh, now you can do a Star Dash. Now, with the Kirby amiibo in that stage, then it's just like, oh, boom, I can use my dash whenever I want. Which, hey, I'll take that over Amiibo Tap, Nintendo's greatest bits. God damn. Okay, I hate this thing just because it owns one of the cutest little subtitles of any Nintendo game. Nintendo's greatest bits? Come on. This launched in the spring of 2015, and this was a free app you could only download on Wii U, where when you would scan an amiibo, an NES or Super Nintendo game would be assigned to said amiibo. That's kind of neat. Now, I always thought just because, hey, these amiibo are like 13 bucks a pop, sometimes even more. So I never thought it would be that awful crazy that like, oh, hey, you know, I got a Mario amiibo, especially this 8-bit one right here. If I would scan that in, it would be kind of cool if you just got access to the original Super Mario Brothers on NES. And I guess that's kind of the concept behind Amiibo Tap. Not really, though. You get pretty much little demos or highlights of each of these classic games. But I think what's the most annoying thing here is the fact that the games you unlock with each amiibo are not linked to the character of each amiibo. So if I scan a Link amiibo, there's a chance I'm gonna get fucking Excite Bike. Now, I understand why they did this. You know, like you have all these different characters as amiibo. Not every character is gonna have a game that's inherently linked to that character. I get it, but still, it just kind of makes it this dumb little like, oh, demo service thing for a bunch of old games that you probably already own on Wii U or have no interest in playing. Each amiibo unlocks like different scenes from that game, so I guess you could see it as kind of like, oh, like a little best of collection, you know? That's why it's called Nintendo's Greatest Bits. Whatever, man. I just feel like they could have done so much more with it. Could have been like an NES Remix 3 or something. I don't know. Just an actual damn game. Because as it stands, Amiibo Tap is literally just like meeting a quota for like, oh, we need to put out more games that support Amiibo, but we don't want to give away our classic games, so, oh, let's give away demos. Yeah, fucking demos for buying this. Thank you so much for buying this figurine. Here's a fucking demo of Mario 2. My goddamn, what are we doing here? You know, I think it's pretty cool that this early on in Amiibo's lifespan, they actually did put out Amiibo for Splatoon. And to this day, Splatoon gets probably the most consistent amount of Amiibo support. Like every new Splatoon game, they have a new set of Splatoon figures to go alongside it. At launch, you got the 3-pack. For Splatoon, you got Inkling Girl, Boy, and the Squid. And the Squid was only accessible via that 3-pack. You could get the girl and boy separate. But eventually, in 2016, they actually released Callie and Marie Amiibo and reprints of the Inkling Girl, Boy, and Squid Amiibo, but now with an alternate color scheme. The Callie and Marie Amiibo just give you like, oh, you can watch them like perform. Cool. The 3-pack Amiibo actually give you challenges to complete and then give you rewards for completing them. And for a multiplayer game like this where, oh yeah, the stuff you unlock is actually like, oh yeah, you know, good for cosmetics, good new weapons, all of that stuff. You can use that in the multiplayer. I think that's pretty valuable. Plus, you can get brand new minigames, which Splatoon has one of the best minigames ever, which is the Squid Jump minigame you play on the gamepad while waiting for a match. And now you can get more of them, so hell yeah! Not bad Amiibo support. I do like how in the game, you do have to walk up to a giant Amiibo box. I think that's really cute. And you actually unlock in quotes, like, not substantial, but substantial enough content to warrant picking them up. So Splatoon is up there as having some pretty decent Amiibo support. But these two right here, these came out pretty damn close to each other near the fall of 2015. And these still, to this day, I think have some of my favorite forms of Amiibo support out there. Super Mario Maker and Yoshi's Woolly World. So Super Mario Maker actually had the 30th anniversary 8-bit Mario Amiibo that kind of coordinated with the release here. Still some of my favorite Amiibo, you know, and it's not just because like, ooh, retro. Ooh. Like, no, I just think it's really cool how, yeah, this is the exact same sprite from the original Super Mario Brothers, but from every angle, it makes sense. I think that's so cool. Like, yeah, you can still see that's Mario's face from the back. You can see that's Mario's back. I think they nailed these. These are such cool concepts for Amiibo. Now, what do they do in-game? I don't really care about these nearly as much in terms of their in-game support. Pretty much, it gives you this, what's practically a Mega Mushroom, but only in the Super Mario Brothers art style in the game. So you get that, and then you can break through blocks. I do like that they offered 2 different color schemes. As we can see here, just zooming in to my modern Mario 8-bit Amiibo. God damn, is there a gas leak in this thing? He's getting a little dusty in there. But that's not why I love the Amiibo support in Super Mario Maker. I love all of the mystery mushroom costumes you can unlock with Amiibo. Now, you don't need Amiibo for these costumes, but it definitely makes things a million times easier if you have a bunch of Amiibo. Just scan them all into Mario Maker 1, and yeah, you can unlock the costumes that way. And what this does is give you practically costumes for every Amiibo released up to that point, and then some. There's a lot of characters that don't even have Amiibo that have costumes in Mario Maker here. I just love how this goes for like every single Nintendo character that you could possibly imagine. There's even some third-party ones, you know, you have Mega Man, Pac-Man, Sonic, but then we also have Pokemon in this game, and they're weird. I think around this time, the Pokemon Company was just kind of like annoying to work with, even though Nintendo owns a stake in the Pokemon Company. I'm sure like just like getting all of this stuff to line up is just more of a pain with them. So the Pokemon characters in the base game here don't have sound effects. Like all the other characters have sound effects related to their character, but not the Pokemon. But you know what? That's okay. I'm happy they found a way to make it work. And even then, for a while after launch, Nintendo would consistently release brand new Mystery Mushroom costumes. You didn't even have to unlock them with Amiibo. But eventually, they did do another Pokemon costume, and that one had sound effects, so I'm happy they could work that one out. But yeah, man, I just thought this was such a great idea. It only works in the Mario 1 art style of this game, but I think that's great because it gives you a reason to use the Mario 1 art style. Because when you have Mario 3, Mario World, New Super Mario Bros. U available, I just feel like Mario 1 kind of feels like, oh, of course you need to have that, but why would you use it? And I feel like the Mystery Mushrooms really made sure that like, oh yeah, okay, I have a reason to use the Mario 1 art style. Because it adds to the theming of your course. It inspires you. When you have all of these different Nintendo characters you can pick from to pretty much play this Mario level as, you can be like, oh yeah, you know, oh man, I have Wind Waker Link here. Well, maybe I can make a Wind Waker theme stage. Or, oh, maybe I can make a Metroid theme stage, or all of that stuff. And I just love how Mario Maker went for the full suite, like full ass. The quantity was so massive with the amount of costumes and the amount of amiibo that worked in this game. Hell, shortly after launch, like, yeah, like not every amiibo worked with this game. However, more than enough did. And even then, you don't even need amiibo. You just have to play through and beat a round of 100 Mario challenge. That is god-awful. I never want to do that. And even then, that is an online-only mode, and they shut down the servers for this game. So, if you do want all of the Mystery Mushroom costumes, yeah, I think amiibo are just the easiest way to do that. And unfortunately, in Mario Maker 2, the Mystery Mushroom costumes did not return, and I think that is a damn shame. Even if they didn't want to do amiibo support, even if they didn't want to deal with all the rights for like third-party characters, if they just had like Nintendo, fully owned Nintendo properties in there, I would have been happy with that. Of course, they kind of dicked around with some things here and there. Mario Maker 2 added an update that included Link as a playable character of the Mario 1 art style. They eventually put in the Mario 2 version of Mario in the Mario 1 art style. So that kind of feels like that was kind of the evolution of the Mystery Mushroom costume, because the Mystery Mushroom was nothing but a cosmetic thing, you know? Like, you didn't get a new moveset, you didn't get special abilities with these characters. But that was okay to me. I didn't need any extra abilities or anything. Just the fact that the character looked like a character I wanted to theme a level around, that was more than enough for me. So yeah, I think it's cool that Link is in Mario Maker 2 and he has a full-blown moveset, and you can, you know, design levels around that moveset and everything. That's great, but I honestly prefer this, even though it was simpler. It was probably not as simple rights-wise, but like I said, if Mario Maker 2 just included like the major Nintendo characters, hell, even just like other Mario characters, I would have been happy with that. But you know what? Yoshi's Woolly World is similarly pretty damn awesome. You know, I would definitely say Mario Maker 1 is better, because Yoshi's Woolly World similarly supports a ton of amiibo, but it is in the form of like, oh, a woolly Yoshi pattern. So you scan an amiibo and Yoshi will then kind of get a pattern based on that certain character. So it's not like, oh yeah, you're playing as that character, or at least you look like you're playing as that character. It's more so like, oh great, it's an Isabelle themed Yoshi design. It doesn't look like you're playing as Isabelle, but it's cool. It's kind of cute. I think what always resonated with me the most about games like these two right here is when they support a huge lineup of amiibo, and it actually coordinates with what that amiibo is. It's not like how Hyrule Warriors is compatible with every amiibo, and in reality, it's like, yeah, you just scan whatever amiibo and it'll give you like a rupee or something. Who cares? No, I love these where they give you something special to that character. Now, Yoshi's Woolly World has some of the greatest amiibo ever created. The fact they thought to do this, like little plush amiibo, they still have the little chip at the bottom, but yeah, they're just full-blown actual yarn Yoshis in real life. This is the coolest fucking thing ever. I love this. You know, they released multiple different colors. They had green, blue, pink, and then later down the line in November of 2015, they released this giant mega yarn Yoshi, which is absolutely incredible. I really wish they did more stuff like that. You know, it makes so much sense to have like plush amiibo. I think that would do so well. I mean, these are so cool and cute. I love them. They offer dog shit in terms of amiibo support. Who the hell cares? You unlock double yarn Yoshi in the game, where you're just playing with 2 yarn Yoshi. You know, in Mario 3D World, they have the double cherry power-up where you're controlling 2 characters at once. That's this. And the mega yarn Yoshi does the exact same thing. He's just big in real life, but he doesn't do a damn thing in the game that's different from these little guys. You can save special yarn patterns to them, then you can bring them over to a friend's house. A lot of this is contingent on like, oh yeah, you bring this over to a friend's house. When the fuck are you doing that? Regardless, these both have some of my favorite amiibo support throughout history, like even throughout all of the other consoles that amiibo are on. I love how these use Amiibo. On an unrelated note, yeah, in November 2015, we had 2 Amiibo supported games that released back to back, like 1 week after each other. And yeah, both of these are some of Nintendo's worst releases ever. Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival. There was definitely some miscommunication about this game. I remember there being some word that this was actually going to be a free to download game and you would just go out and buy an Animal Crossing Amiibo to play. But no, this is a $60 game. It came with 2 Amiibo in the box and a couple of Animal Crossing Amiibo cards. Yeah, not counting stuff like Amiibo Tap, this is Nintendo's main biggest game that requires Amiibo to play. You cannot even get past the title screen unless you scan an Amiibo. And yeah, guess what? It's bad. I definitely don't mind a lot of the ideas Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival has. However, it's just not a good game. It's incredibly fucking boring. You know what's annoying? You know, they pumped out all these figures like mad. Like the Animal Crossing Amiibo figures were just flooding store shelves. Of course, nobody wanted them because like they were for a game nobody gave a shit about. But it's interesting because all of the like special Animal Crossing NPC characters, the ones that don't move in to the houses in the neighborhood, you know, they more so run the shops and all of that. They were the ones that got the figures. But it turns out most of this game uses the Animal Crossing cards to do anything. The figures are pretty much only usable in the board game mode. And listen, I don't even think any of the modes in this game are all too hot, but the board game mode is definitely one of the lesser ones to play in this game. And then on top of that, the cards are actually useful in like the mainline Animal Crossing games. They updated Animal Crossing New Leaf to use the cards, and like you actually kind of want the cards if you're into this sort of thing, because you can invite certain villagers to come live in your town, and you do that with the cards. You don't do that with the figures because these guys don't live in your town. And they did the same thing for Animal Crossing New Horizons. It's just like nonstop, they gave you a million reasons to want the cards. The cards are cool. The cards, you get like a decent amount per pack. They need to give you a reason to want to use the damn figures. And they just don't. And on top of that, this does the same tired thing that Mario Party 10 did with Amiibo, where you have to tap the Amiibo on the gamepad to roll your dice. It's annoying, it's clunky, it's awful. I definitely wouldn't say Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival has like no value. If you get drunk, it's probably pretty fun. But yeah, this is Nintendo's major experiment of a game that requires Amiibo to play. And man, this thing flopped. So thankfully, we had Mario Tennis Ultra Smash to be a game that doesn't require Amiibo to play, that also flopped, to make Animal Crossing Amiibo Festival feel better about itself. Amiibo support in this game is very similar to Super Smash Bros. For Wii U. You play a doubles match with your Amiibo, and you kind of train it to do better and better and better, and that's kind of it. Again, much like Smash Brothers, it's an okay idea for Amiibo support. Like, I don't hate it. It's just not very interesting, especially when Smash Brothers is definitely more of a fun game to do this kind of thing with. Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, what the fuck am I training my Amiibo to do? I do think it's interesting. Gold Mario is supported in Mario Tennis Ultra Smash, and he appears gold in the game, which is kind of cool. Silver Mario is not silver. He just appears as regular Mario. Why did they put out a Silver Mario? I still don't understand. Oh my god, what a useless game to include Amiibo support. Pokken Tournament, this comes bundled with a Shadow Mewtwo Amiibo card. So early copies of Pokken Tournament on Wii U came bundled with this Shadow Mewtwo Amiibo card. Shadow Mewtwo you could unlock early by scanning this Amiibo card. And yeah, that's it. You don't need the Amiibo card to unlock him, but it's just an Amiibo card that was included with the game, and you unlock him early. Why? This just feels pointless. Like, just have them unlocked early then. Why? I mean, there's no other, like, Amiibo cards for Pokken Tournament. There's no other Amiibo cards for Pokemon in general. This right here is the only Pokemon Amiibo card ever released. You can scan other Amiibo for little, like, bonus items and all that crap, kind of like with Hyrule Warriors. whatever. This one's silly. But around the same time that Pokken Tournament released, we got Twilight Princess HD, which actually focused a lot on Amiibo, as all physical copies of the game, at least here in North America, came bundled with the Wolf, Link, and Midna Amiibo. This is a substantial step up from any Amiibo we had seen prior in terms of detail and quality. Like, this is still pretty wild. This is one of the best Amiibo, especially of its era. And pretty much what it did was it unlocked a new dungeon in the game, the Cave of Shadows. Now, the Cave of Shadows is definitely a little more of like a, I don't know, just like a gauntlet. Definitely a bit more of kind of like a challenge to get through rather than like a full-blown traditional Zelda dungeon, but still a worthy bit of new content in Twilight Princess HD. Plus, a big selling point of this Amiibo was that it would then carry over data into Breath of the Wild when that released. And yeah, scanning this, Wolf Link appears, which, who the f knows how that works canonically? You can also scan Link, Zelda, or Ganondorf to fill up your arrows as Link, hearts as Zelda, but then Ganondorf is kind of like a hard mode. You know, you take twice as much damage, which this game already included a hero mode for a higher difficulty. So you could do hero mode and then also scan to Ganondorf for an extra challenge. I do think some of that's a little lame. You know, it's just like, okay, why does like an ultra difficulty mode have to be locked behind an Amiibo? But it's whatever. I mean, like, Twilight Princess HD came bundled with Wolf Link, so at least like the Wolf Link Amiibo, that kind of content. It's not really like it was necessarily super inaccessible for players. Like, I feel like most players just got the Amiibo with their game, which I believe this game was $50 digitally, but then physically it was $60 because it came with the Amiibo, which at the time Amiibo were 13 bucks, and this is definitely a step above a lot of the $13 Amiibo. Yeah, I mean, for $10 more, you got a pretty cool little figure here. I think that was worth it. Even though the Cave of Shadows isn't like anything that crazy, like, oh wow, you missed out on the Cave of Shadows, you must be a loser. Nah, it's nothing like that, but it's kind of a cool little extra, I would say, like an extra bit of content for a longtime fan. Sometimes when games barely have anything that substantial as Amiibo content, I just view this little like Amiibo logo in the corner as like one of the biggest stretches I have ever seen in my life. Star Fox Zero, it is compatible with the Fox and Falco Amiibo. Fox will make your R-Wing look like it did back on Star Fox on the Super Nintendo. That's kind of cool. Falco makes your R-Wing black. All right, what about Star Fox Guard? It once again only works with Fox or Falco, and they literally, all they do is when you scan them, all the enemies on your level die. So I guess like you use them in a pinch if you're really struggling. This right here might be the worst Amiibo support I have ever seen. This right here, I mean, they just threw it in, and it's kind of cool. I think the Super Nintendo R-Wing is kind of cute, I guess. But like, man, this one, Jesus Christ, and doesn't even work with all Amiibo. If it worked with all Amiibo, sure. I mean, you know, okay. To be fair, I mean, Fox and Falco, the whole thing is like, oh, well, they'll help you out. Canonically, yeah, Fox and Falco will help you out in Star Fox Guard, so it makes sense potentially that, oh, yeah. You can wipe all the enemies out with them. Okay. Still stupid as hell. I don't care. Guys, we're pretty much almost done. We had Mario and Sonic at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, which only work with Mario or Sonic. So it says on the back, enter special tournaments with Amiibo. Pretty much if you scan in the Mario Amiibo, you can enter the Mario tournament where you can get a Mario Mii costume. Same thing for Sonic, but Sonic tournament, Sonic Mii costume. What's with these Mii costumes, man? Like, I'm in a Mario and Sonic game. Why do I need my Mii to look like them? I can just fucking play as them. Then we have Breath of the Wild, which the Amiibo support in this game is the exact same as the Nintendo Switch version, which, suffice to say, there is a fair amount of stuff you can do with Amiibo in this game. It's all pretty superfluous, but it can definitely help you out. I mean, not only does Wolf Link work in this game, but then all the other Zelda series Amiibo, in addition to all of the Breath of the Wild Amiibo that launched right alongside this game. They do the same Hyrule Warriors nonsense of like, oh yeah, any Amiibo technically works in the game. You get little bonus items. But a lot of the Zelda series amiibo give you legitimately really cool stuff. I mean, like 8-bit Link will give you a costume that looks just like classic Link from like the NES, SNES days. Same if you're gonna scan like the Ocarina of Time amiibo or something, you know, all of the different types of Links can give you different types of things, and I just think that's neat. Definitely a lot of fan service with the amiibo support in Breath of the Wild, which I like. And man, other than all of that, there was the Mini Mario and Friends Amiibo Challenge game. That was a free-to-download thing on the Wii U and also the 3DS, which makes me wonder why Amiibo Tap wasn't on the 3DS as well. Probably because at the time in 2015, Super Nintendo games weren't on the 3DS, so what the hell ever. I don't even care. It doesn't even matter. Why am I bothered by this? It's Amiibo fucking Tap. I'm probably the only person right now in the world that is saying the term Amiibo Tap. But Mini Mario and Friends, it's just another Mario vs. Donkey Kong game, but one where you have to scan Amiibo to unlock levels to play. It's not the worst idea, you know, it's just like a free little download. It's just something to give you like an actual game to get actual content out of your amiibo figures. I mean, like, it does that. The problem is it's a fucking Mario versus Donkey Kong game. Who the hell cares about those anymore? Like, they're all fine. Like, they give you a game to play. It's like, they're well-designed little puzzle platformers, but my God, who the hell cares? Shovel Knight had the audacity being the first third-party amiibo. So this actually wasn't produced by Nintendo. This was an amiibo licensed by Nintendo, but produced by Yacht Club Games. You can tell from the packaging of the amiibo, it doesn't say Nintendo amiibo, it's licensed by Nintendo amiibo, which is interesting. This amiibo actually originally unlocked co-op, but I think they actually made it so then co-op is just something that is just accessible to everybody. And this amiibo actually now lets you save like a custom version of Shovel Knight. Then you have all the other Shovel Knight characters that released. They all unlock a couple of different little things here and there, some challenges, some little extras here and there. Shovel Knight's amiibo support is fine. The co-op mode was cool, but it does make sense that they decided to not make that linked to an amiibo purchase. But overall, I think it's just cool that Shovel Knight amiibo exists in the first place. And yeah, man, that's all of the amiibo stuff on Wii U. Outside of like, there was a Taiko game that released in Japan that had amiibo support. Worked with the Animal Crossing and Pac-Man amiibo, and they would unlock different little things there. But yeah, for the console that amiibo was birthed on, looking back at it all, man, like, amiibo support was pretty tart on this console. There's a couple of standout examples, but overall, I do think Nintendo has consistently struggled with what to do with amiibo support. It feels like they definitely think about like, oh yeah, let's do this figure, and then they look at their upcoming lineup and they think like, okay, these are the figures we have, these are the figures that are releasing. What are we doing here? How much time do we have to put amiibo support in the game? Oh yeah, not a lot. Okay, well yeah, let's just put a fucking power up in there. Amiibo are definitely figures first, and then in-game support later. Nintendo Switch, you know what? I gotta give it more credit. It definitely had far better amiibo support than the Wii U did. Oh wait, I forgot the one other game on Wii U that supported amiibo. Word Puzzles by Paugi. According to Amiibo Life, it would generate a puzzle based on the amiibo's nickname and owner's name. Well, I'm sorry, Wii U. Now that's what I call fucking amiibo support.